Hey, Ken from the Parkhill Auction Gallery and Resellers Network. We're here at the warehouse where, as you can see, we've got literally thousands and thousands of these vinyl records. Well, what do we do with them? That's the topic for today. So all of these records really worth selling? Well, yeah. There are more and more collectors of vintage vinyl, and there are some categories and some records that are worth a lot of money and others that are just common, but you know, people still buy them, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. You know, so are like loose 45s like this worth selling? Well, you know, I don't know. I might thumb through them really quickly and just take a quick look to see if there's anything really highly collectible in there. But, you know, for the most part, when you have these loose 45s, you may just want to just put those in a box lot, cut your loss, and run them through a local auction. Get some of your money back. So we've literally got thousands and thousands of titles. So where do we get most of these records? Well, a lot of them we got from yard sales, from estate cleanouts, and you know, I literally go in and just thumb through them real quick, get a ballpark idea of what type of records they are, and I'll just throw them a number. You know, I might give them $10 for a whole box of records. That's fine with me. Of course, I'll step up if the condition of what I'm buying is, you know, pristine, or if there are albums that are still in the original packaging, you know, still wrapped in plastic, then I'll definitely step up. But, you know, for common stuff, boxes of records that you find at a yard sale, you got to get them cheap. You know, just like books, you got to get them cheap. You know, categories like jewelry, DVDs, CDs, all those type of categories don't take up a whole lot of shelf space. Look, we've got a whole bunch of Hot Wheels cars here, CDs, music, media. Those are all categories that don't take up a whole lot of space on your shelves. That's one nice thing about being a reseller in the media category, is it's all tight and compact. So what's some of the best platforms to sell records on? Well, you know, there's a bunch. Amazon, you can sell, if you're an Amazon seller and they approve you as a record seller in that category, you can try Amazon. We haven't had much luck with Amazon and records. They restrict the amount of people that sell records, and we never got involved with it. It was just too much of a pain in the butt. Another really good resource for people selling records is Discogs. Discogs has a website with a search feature, and whether you're a collector or a reseller, there's a real wide variety of records there. Probably the largest database, I think, you know, on the internet. It's a great place to sell records. It's also a great place to do research. If you're trying to find a title, or you can't find a particular record that you're selling, chances are you'll find it on Discogs. Now, there's Facebook Marketplace. You can sell records on Facebook Marketplace. We've sold records on Facebook Marketplace. I tend to typically sell more record bundles on Facebook Marketplace than I do individual records. If I have a good, strong record, my choice is eBay, but that's only because we sell so many different types of things in so many different categories that it's just easier to keep track of our inventory all in one platform, or, you know, a couple of different platforms. But cross-posting to multiple platforms is something we'll talk about in a minute, but it gets really challenging. So the vast majority of things that we sell in different categories is through eBay. Mercari is also a website, a reseller's website. We were introduced to this about 2 years ago, and we've started to use it. We've sold some things on Mercari. It's not my favorite platform, but it is a go-to. And we use a software called List Perfect. What List Perfect does is it helps you with your inventory control, but it also helps you with cross-posting. So you can put something up on eBay, and then you can also cross-post it on Facebook Marketplace, and you can cross-post it to Mercari. List Perfect is a subscription. You have to pay for it, but you know, it's inexpensive, and it seems to be worth it. You have to be really careful, though, with List Perfect, because when you're cross-posting to multiple platforms, you have to really make sure that you're on top of your game with making sure that when something sells on one platform, you take it down on the others. Because if you don't, something can potentially sell on more than one platform, and then you have to cancel an order, and that really goes against your score as a seller. It's loud as hell here today at the warehouse. They're remodeling upstairs, and it's a lot of banging and crashing, so I think I'm going to skid out of here pretty soon, head back to my home office, and finish this video up there. Alright, so I got back to the office. It was a little loud down there at the warehouse, and I just grabbed a stack of albums. I had kind of fingered through some of these a couple days ago, and I had pulled some of my favorites up because I wanted to listen to them. And I thought, well, this would be a good sort of sample of just some, you know, some common records, some records that aren't hard to find, hard to come by. You know, when you're out yard sale hunting, when you're out flea marketing, picking up records. I like to buy records, as you could see at the warehouse. I like to buy them by the box. I don't really spend a whole lot of time looking for them. I just throw a number out and come home with a box. So, you know, I picked up the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, a bunch of Zeppelin. The Zeppelin, you know, unless you've got something still wrapped in plastic, what I'll usually do is I'll throw a whole bunch of them together, you know, and there's another Zeppelin. There's a whole bunch of Zeppelins here. I got two of the same. You know, Zeppelin 1, Zeppelin 2, there's Zeppelin 3. I'll put them, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a bundle, and depending on condition, you know, if they're really, really good condition. I mean, I sold a Zeppelin album for $170-something a few weeks ago, but it was still in plastic. But, you know, commons with a little bit of wear, with a little bit of, you know, just some very, very, very light, just blemishes, surface scratches, nothing that you'd really be able to hear to any degree. You know, those are what I would consider common. Those records, 4 of them together, you could start at $60 if you want, and you can always come down in the price. So that's a good bundle. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. That's a really good one. Look that up. That and The Wall, Pink Floyd. That's a pretty easy to find record when you're out hunting, and it's also it has a good sell-through rate. I wanted to show you kind of real quick here if I can find it. Oh, like some of these records, the newer records, they have barcodes, you know. And what's nice is if you have FBA Scan, which is a tool used for Amazon sellers. I use it for books, but you can also use it. So what you do is you just FBA Scan. It's an app for your phone, and then you just hit the bar thing, and then it brings it up, and this is what it's telling me. It's telling me Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. It's telling me that on Amazon they've got 3 used. Prices are $47. So that's a pretty good sell-through rate. You could come in there and undercut these prices a little bit. List it for on FBA. You could list it on FBA for $44. I don't use Amazon takes huge fees for their FBA. Of course, if you like simplicity, if you want to pack a couple dozen records in a box and send them off to FBA, to Amazon FBA, they'll take care of all of it. They'll ship it for you. They'll pack it for you. They'll inventory it. They're going to take a big piece of the pie. And you know, what are you going to end up with? You're going to probably end up with maybe $20-25 if it sells. In this case, it probably would. But you know, if you're sending them 25 records and they all don't have as good of a sales rank as this record does, and they sit, I mean, eventually you have to make up your mind whether you're going to just pay them to get rid of them or whether you want to pay to have them shipped back to you. So, you know, your sell-through on 25 records over the course of 6 months might be 50%, you know. So how much are you making there? Well, you know, you're making good money, but The nice thing about selling them on eBay or another platform is that you're holding the inventory, so if they don't sell, you still have the record. You have the ability to be able to sell it someplace else, which is what I like. One of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about that's very important is grading, the grading of your records. Record collectors, those are your buyers of your records, they tend to be, not always, but they tend to be very meticulous. So you really don't want to aggravate your buyer by overgrading your record. I found that with records, it's always better to just slightly undergrade them. That way there, when they get the record in the mail, they're happy, not aggravated. So just to run through the grades, I mean, you can get the grades off the internet somehow, but just so you have a clear understanding, when you're talking about a mint record, you're talking about an absolute perfect record in every way, with no dents to corners, no wear, most likely still wrapped in plastic. It should be used very, very, very sparingly. You've got near mint. Now, near mint is a grade that you'd probably most likely use on a just about perfect record. Unless you know for a fact that it's absolutely flawless, then your near mint for your sealed in plastic records with no corner damage and no visible wear at all is probably your go-to for that. Very good plus. That's a record that you know, it's usually just general good condition with very, very, very little wear, no corner damage, no scratches on the record. And then when you're getting into very good, you know, very good doesn't mean perfect. Very good means, well, it may have been listened to. There may be, you know, just a little bit of, like you can see where the record has made an indentation, you know, in the cover. You're looking for creases in the jacket. You're looking for scratches, you know, signs that it's been used. That's a grading that I'm not afraid to use if I've got a good record. The grading for good would be more generally worn, some wearing, you know, still playable, and people can still enjoy the record, but they're not going to have endless skips, and you know, there's not going to be a big water stain on the cover, and you know, the jacket's not going to be ripped or torn. Poor condition would be a record that you're probably going to have some difficulty playing. You may get some songs to play all right, but you may get a few songs that are going to skip. Visible wear. Definitely damage to corners of the cover. Oh, look at this! I just noticed this Pink Floyd record has the poster. Look at that. Yes, looks like there's 2 posters in here. Awesome, boy! That just added some real value to this record. So that's pretty much how you grade a record. I really encourage you to go online and learn more about it. It's really important that when you're listing records on the internet that you grade them properly. And if you want to make friends, not enemies, selling records, use your grading charts and make sure that you're not overgrading, that the records that you're listing are being graded correctly. Here's another record, Billy Joel, Glass Houses. If we put this into FBA scan, this is telling me that, oh, hear that? This says this is a buy according to my parameters. If I came across this in a yard sale and I could buy it for $1, this says that I could sell it on FBA. Chances are it would sell probably in the $22, $29 range. And there's others that are a little bit less, but my condition is really, really good. You know, I don't have any cover wear. The album itself, I've already checked it. No surface scratches. Really good quality, probably, VG plus. It's telling me that my profit would be $14. So you buy it for $1, you put it in a box, you send it off to FBA, and you get paid $14 when it sells. So here at Parkhill, we have a whole team of people that list on different formats. We have our own platform called ubid2buy.com. That's letter ubidtobuy.com. That's a local auction house. Even though we use the internet as a medium for bidding, it's still local. So if you're out in California, please don't go to the website and buy stuff, because we really don't like to ship stuff that's local pickup, that's local preview. We have people that spend their day listing and photographing for that, but that's local pickup, we don't ship. And then we've got other folks that spend their day just listing on eBay. We've got one lady who I'm married to who did a very good job today listing. I was just complimenting her on the amount of listings she got up today. That will list, she lists just general anything, antiques, collectibles. If they don't fit in a box and it'll ship, she'll list it. And then we have some folks that just do media. They do books, they do records, cassette tapes, DVDs, CDs, what am I missing? I don't know, anything media. So if they'll go on a media mail, that's pretty much what they spend their day listing. We have to spend some time figuring out whether the individual record is worth selling by itself, or whether it's worth putting in a bundle of 3 or more albums. People like to get a good deal, and if they can buy a dozen records for $50 or $45 or $40, just move it. Buy them cheap, and then undercut your competition by selling them, cheaper than they are. You don't want to give the stuff away, but by all means, make your money on volume. Don't hang out for, don't hang on trying to get like your best top dollar for everything you sell. Just move it. You're not running a museum. If you were, you could charge admission at the door. You're not. List it, price it right, and sell it. So we're just about running out of time, but I just wanted to leave you with a couple things. We really plan on trying to work with our resellers and educate them in some of the ways that we do things. We've got some great future videos coming up, and if you find value in some of the information that we're providing for you in these videos, please, please, please help support the channel by becoming a subscriber. Thanks again. Enjoy listening to your records, and we'll see you next week.